I think India has a unique position today in the global aviation system. First of all, because the government seems to really have integrated the fact that air transportation is a lever, an accelerator, a multiplier for economic growth and therefore for welfare of any population. So by integrating this in the government strategy, we can definitely be confident that India is going to maintain a position, a number 3 position in global air transportation, and sure to rival China's second position in a handful of years, probably. And this will be obviously to great benefit for the Indian population that will have access to more air transportation and more cargo and better living standards thanks to this strategy. Yes, so here again, India has, like China and arguably the US, these are large countries with large populations, and that is very beneficial for a domestic air transportation market, both regarding cargo and passenger. If we compare that with sort of Africa or Europe, for instance, where many countries operate their individual systems, that tends to be, on the whole, less efficient. So the large size of India is helpful for economics of scale and efficiency. Now, maybe the international traffic is therefore going to be somewhat less important for the Indian carriers, possibly. That is also what we have tended to see in the cases of the US and China, for instance, where the domestic markets dominate and the international markets come second. Not to say that the international market is not important, but it's helpful to have a large domestic market. Yes, I think that India can definitely play a really important role in this market, and the global aviation system needs India and needs also China and Africa to participate, because today most of the sustainable aviation fuel is produced in the US and Europe, and these two continents will never be able to produce enough. So we need all of these other countries with large resources in terms of feedstocks for this type of fuel production to quickly join the market and help us increase the production volumes to the benefit of everybody. I think this is a unique event, and it's also a reflection of a unique industry, It's like, how many industries are there? I can't think of a single other one where we can unite 130 airline CEOs in the same room. That is very unique. It's a unique industry too, because our industry with IATA and all the airlines, and our UN body for civil aviation with all the UN member states as members. These two parts have come together and committed equally to bring air transportation to net zero by 2050. I don't think there's any other industry that has managed to come together in that way and express such a strong commitment. And finally, maybe it's also an expression of Prime Minister Modi's conviction of how much of a growth multiplier our industry is. Maybe that is one of the reasons why he has consented to grace our event with his presence this afternoon. Yes, I think it's how you integrate this in terms of your government's strategy. And if we understand that the energy transition is not about any particular industry, it's about the energy source. And the world today uses fossil fuels. More than 80% of our energy consumption is still fossil fuels. So clearly it has to be a whole government endeavor to change how we do things in the economy. And we need to help the renewable energy producers at least as much as we're helping the oil producers, and I would say even preferably more. So we need to take these questions out of the transportation ministry and put it at the top economic growth strategy of governments, and then the policies follow, I believe, logically. Yes, because most countries still give incentives straight to the oil companies. There are different types of support for oil, and I'm not talking about consumer subsidies. I'm talking about the producer subsidies that go straight to enhance the oil company's bottom line. This I find outrageous because their net profit margins are 20% or higher, whereas airlines' profit margins are less than 4%. We are not asking for subsidies for airlines. We're asking for help for renewable energy producers and, of course, for renewable fuel producers as well, because we need renewable fuel.